So when we first lived here, we lived in what's called a double. I don't even know if you guys know what that is. So it's like a house that has like an apartment on each side. And so in the double, you'd walk in, there was a living room, there was a bedroom, another bedroom, and a kitchen. There was no door, so it wasn't private. It was just a hallway. And so I had to always share a room with Bethel. And then Namal had her own room. And so we always had to sleep in the same bed. I had to sleep in the same bed with Bethel because we didn't have enough money to get like 2 beds.
Did you ever get did you ever have to get kicked out? I mean,
No,
Evicted?
no, we never got kicked out of where we lived. But I would remember that Nama would, so like in the morning, she would have to be at work like at 5 or 6 a.m. So I was probably like, I don't know, 9. And so Bethel was 8. And so she would wake us up like at 4 or 5 a.m. and do my hair and get us dressed and ready for school and set the alarm. And we would have to get up on our own when the alarm went off and go out and catch the bus every day. So we never missed, and we never stayed home because we overslept. We had to be responsible when we were like 9 and 8.
did you when you first got there, did you not know what to do at your school?
No, because I grew up here. So like when we first came to the United States, I was born in California. Then Namal took me back to Mexico, and we were there for maybe a couple of years, and then we came back to the United States. And then I think when we came back, we went to Indiana. And so I lived in Indiana. I started going to school here in kindergarten. So that's where I learned English.
Did you guys ever had to limit your supplies, like for like shampoo?
Oh yeah, we were poor. Yeah, I don't. Nama could never collect like food stamps or get help from the government
Because she was
she was illegal, and she didn't even know about how to do that because she didn't even speak the language. So she said she used to work for. So she used to work illegally at a factory. And the factory was a factory that got food ready for kids in public schools. So they would package the meals. Like you guys now, your lunch is totally different. Used to your lunches would come in a tray and all the food would be there. And so she used to work on the line packaging that. And so some of the ladies there knew that Nama was poor and that she had 2 kids at home. So they would like give her lunches to bring home to us so we could eat.
Where were Gilbert and Miranda?
Miranda wasn't born yet. She came later. So it was just me and Bethel. And then Gilbert was in Mexico, still with living with my grandma. And they didn't come here until he was probably about 15 when he came to the U.S.
Did you guys ever get laughed at, like at stores?
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, did you ever sneak out of the house?
No.
That might be a question for my dad.
No, we were always very well behaved because we knew that Nama was working hard to support her 2 kids. She would work 2 jobs.
Do you get mad a lot?
No.
Was it different having Gilbert come in later?
It was just different because once he came, my grandma came, my grandpa came, so then we all lived together. And then I think actually what happened is they lived on the other side of the double, and then we lived on the one side. So it was actually a little better because then we had more family there to take care of us.
Mm-hmm. So did Gilbert learn English before he moved?
No, he learned it here.
So he learned when he was 15.
Yeah, he was in his teens. I don't remember exactly how old he was when he came.
Since you guys didn't speak, since your mom didn't speak any English, did you have to like
speak English for her at stores sometimes?
Yeah, I was her translator. And I was more the translator because Bethel, he understood it, but he wouldn't speak Spanish. He would just speak English. So I had to be the translator because I'm the one that spoke both languages. And I would fill out all her paperwork for her. And I still do to this day.
And do you guys go to Mexican stores mostly?
There were no Mexican stores when we first came here. So no. We would just go to a regular grocery store.
That's interesting because who was it? Carmen that had. She worked at that one store that we would always go to as a child. It was like.
Was it our brother's store?
It might have. They had piñatas hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were one of the first grocery stores on the west side of town that they opened up over here. So yeah, that was a while ago. I don't remember what year exactly, but yeah. And they opened it up just because more Hispanic population was coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And so they went into business doing that for a while.
What did you guys do whenever you came home from school?
We would play outside in the dirt. We didn't really have many toys. And I don't remember if we had a TV or not, but we had to entertain ourselves.
Was Mama gardening back then too?
I don't really remember them gardening much. She did. She did, but not much. I know once my grandma came, they raised chickens for a while, and they would and we would kill the chickens from our backyard and eat those.
Did you guys ever do any work as a family?
Work as get paid?
Yeah, like labor and.
Yeah, we worked at the turnip fields. Does your dad share those stories?
I've heard some stories.
Yeah, we would have to go. So yes, because my mom worked so many different jobs. And so the turnip job was something she could take us to, like on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. So we would go and sometimes sit in the car because they would have to be out there as soon as the sun would come up. And we would help. We'd pick the turnips out of the ground, cut them with a knife, throw the greens down, the turnips went into the basket. And I think we made like 25 cents or 50 cents a basket, I don't remember.
Did you guys ever do work?
Yeah, we did turnips. That's the only job I can remember doing.
Dad talked about tomato fields.
Oh yeah, we did tomatoes too. So yeah, I lied. We did turnips and we did tomatoes. So it was kind of the same thing. Except the tomatoes you would just pick and put in the basket.
Mm-hmm.
But the turnips we actually had to handle a knife and we had to wear gloves because the greens were kind of prickly. And then we had to cut. Yeah.
Did you and Dad and I guess Gilbert ever work like part-time jobs to help Mama out?
No, because by the time I think I became around 11, Mama married her husband, and he was a legal citizen, and so no, she had another person there to help support her.
Okay. Did you guys take care of Miranda a lot growing up?
A little bit, but not too much. Because then at that point, since she was married, she only had to work one job. So she was home more.
Did Memo's parents ever work like in factories?
When they came to the U.S.?
Grandma did not. Grandpa did. He worked at a factory. But I think he had to have worked no, he worked legally. So she never worked, but he did. Neither of them ever drove. They never learned to drive or get a driver's license here in the U.S.
But Walito rode his bike around the neighborhood, and
Fortunately, he worked at a factory. It was just a few blocks away. So yeah, he would just ride his bike around.
then people like our family helps pay for Walita's house now.
Yes, they help her with her expenses, her living expenses now, for her bills and groceries.
Did you ever meet anybody growing up whose grandparents lived with them too, or was just?
Yeah, because that's prominent in the in our culture, where your parents either live really close by or your parents live with you.
But like any of your Anglo friends, did they?
No.
Were they like close with their grandparents?
No, not like we were. No.
Did you guys ever meet anybody like you? Like your family, like moved to Mexico?
Later in life, not in the beginning. No, probably not until I was a teenager.
When was your first time going to Mexico?
We had to stay in the U.S. for a long time because Nama was illegal, so we didn't get to go until she remarried. So I was probably 11 by the time I went back.
And we still have family down there, right?
We have distant like great aunts and cousins. Yeah.
Has anybody from the family gone down there recently?
Probably not. Oh yeah, my uncle Raymond. He was just there, I think, last year. So yeah.
What was life like growing up? Did you move around a lot?
Growing up, I think we moved around, maybe from what I can think of, about 6 times. And it was, we grew up poor because I had an illegal mother. So she earned minimum wage and she was the only working parent.
Did Mama's situation affect what you guys could and couldn't do as far as like going out with friends or anything like that?
It did, because when we were younger, we had to stay at home because my mother was illegal, and so she was afraid that even though we were not, we couldn't go out and associate with other kids. We had to stay within our group, our home. And then as we got older and became teenagers, then she became a little more comfortable with letting us go out.
Did anyone ever treat you guys differently based on your looks or background?
We would get called names because when we were here initially, we were some of the first, I think, of the Hispanic population in the schools. So we were actually like a minority in the schools. So yeah, we would.
Was it hard to make friends or anything?
I don't remember having a hard time making friends because since we knew the language, we didn't really have a hard time.
Did you ever have anybody over that was uncomfortable with Mama speaking in Spanish?
No. But then again, I only had maybe like 3 girlfriends that I can remember that would come to the house, and I would make sure that they were comfortable with her first.
Is there anything that you would change about your life as a child or a young adult?
No, because everything that I went through and endured made me who I am today and made me appreciate more of what other people go through.
Do you have any tips or advice for other young Latino women growing up today in our community?
I would say don't be discouraged. If you have a dream, pursue it and don't be set back by your nationality or what you can or cannot do because of your legal status. Like, just do the best you can and don't give up. And there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay.